morning, this is Edison TV, and we're delighted this morning to welcome Carlo Centonze, who's Chief Executive Officer of HeiQ, and Xaver Hangartner, who's Chief Financial Officer of HeiQ. HeiQ is an IP creator and established global brand in materials and textile innovation. It's headquartered in Switzerland and it listed on the London Stock Exchange in December 2020. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning, Anne. Thanks for having us.
It's
Good
a pleasure.
morning from my side as well.
Thank you. Now, Carlo, please give us an overview of what HeiQ does.
Well, HeiQ, as you said, is an IP creator. So what we do is we solve problems with science. We create new technologies that are adding a functional benefit or a sustainable benefit to, for example, a textile, but also a coating or a plastic or any kind of product that we consumers would use to confer it a functionality. For example, more hygiene or more comfort or more protection or more sustainability. So this is typically innovations that HeiQ carries out in order to enhance, strengthen, and make products for consumers longer lasting and more performing.
Xaver, please tell us about FY21 financial performance.
In 21, we were able to grow 15%, and that on top of a very strong prior year where we have seen a growth of 80%. If we look back, we have a very strong growth track record. And so if you look at our past 3 years, you see that half year over half year, we were able to grow significantly. And you also see that 2020, we had a very strong first half year with sales of over 30 million. And since then have been able to exceed this even in the second half of 2021. 2020 was exceptional for us as we were able to materialize several non-recurring opportunities related to the pandemic and our offerings in the hygiene range. As you see, also in our annual accounts, our hygiene business is roughly half of our commercialized business, and as such, the strong foot of our company. However, we were also able to grow in resource efficiency and comfort to other very significant functionalities for us. I mentioned the pandemic before and the growth from that in year 2020, but the most important long-term impact out of that for us is basically that functionality, especially in the textile industry, has gained much more attention. And we see fashion brands that before the pandemic were not necessarily looking for functionality on their textiles, now come to us on a daily basis and are looking for our functionalities, be it in the area of hygiene, like for example, odor control, or be it rather in the comfort area where we talk about temperature control or cooling. 2021 was also transformational as we acquired 3 companies in that year. And as such, we also invested significantly, not only in acquisitions, but also in our organization, and we grew our innovation and our sales and sales-related teams significantly. Therefore, our sales and general administrative cost went up over 50%, whereas significantly more than half of this was driven by the acquisitions, and the remaining portion represents our investments in the group. Maybe as a last thing, a few words on gross margin. Our gross margin was under pressure last year in 2021, and this came significantly from the headwinds that we faced, like all of industry and global economics, from rising logistics and rising raw material costs. Nevertheless, we were able to achieve profit of 2.5 million and an EBITDA of 6.5 million for the year. And this is more than double than what we had 2019, the year before the pandemic. And as such, we are on a very well track, and we are very well positioned at the end of the year with a significant amount of net cash on the balance sheet. We have roughly 50 million of cash. We do not have any significant portion of debts, and as such, we are very well positioned for future growth.
Gentlemen, what are your expectations for the current financial year, FY22, and beyond that, your medium-term expectations?
I think for FY22, we can, with a reasonable degree of confidence, give guidance of a 20% organic growth. A third of that is stemming from a full year account of the 3 acquisitions that we have conducted in the previous year. 2/3 are organic growth. Still, there remains uncertainty in the market, with especially China with a major ports in a lockdown situation, where nobody really knows how long this will last. If it doesn't last longer than another couple of weeks, then we don't see a major impediment. But it's unforeseeable. If it would last another 4 or 5 months, I think it will have impact on the global economy, as we expect other components like inflation to have impact on a slowdown overall. Nonetheless, we're very well positioned, as Xaver mentioned. Basically, the number of our clients has doubled in the last couple of years. We have had sectors that were not looking for functionality before that are now actively looking for functionality. So from this much expanded market that we have, as well as really disruptive innovations that we're bringing to market, we are very confident that we can master a good organic growth. If we look at one of our main initiatives that has gone to market last year we launched 21 products as innovations to market. One Blockbuster, HeiQ Aonic. That's the world's first climate positive fiber. It's a cellulose-based fiber that can, for the first time, replace polyester, an oil-based fiber with a very harmful footprint on our planet. And this technology, which serves 135 billion per year market, has been informed by us with a solution. It has immediately been invested by a couple of well-known brands, Hugo Boss, a market leader in fashion, who put down more than 10 million investment into our subsidiary at an implied valuation of 200 million for this technology platform, as well as the Lycra company, which purchased the global exclusive distributionship for this new fiber. So we are confident that with the organic growth of our existing technologies, as well as the blockbusters that are seeing a final stage of industrialization right now, we will, in the medium term, be able to become this 300 million company in sales. The medium term could mean as early as 2025, should our scale up for HeiQ Aonic, the first climate positive fiber, go as per our plan.
Thank you. And can you tell me a little bit more about the commercialization schedule for the Aonic fabric? When should investors expect this to be available in volume?
Sure. HeiQ Aonic was developed over the last years and launched last October only. We will see the first market commercialization quantities go out in the second half of this year, 2021. This, however, is still coming out of a limited capacity facility, which can be seen as a pilot commercialization line, who, however, will enable first brands to launch capsule collections to the market. Over the next 2 years, we are planning to build a first gigafactory of 30,000 tons capacity. By the end of this year, 2021, we are looking to have $300 million investment structures ready in order to push button on the execution of such plant, which would see first operations for the 30,000 tons in the beginning of 2025. From then on, we can expect sales of 200 million plus out of that plant at a high double-digit gross margin yield that would come out of it.
That's just the first of your 3 blockbuster products. Can you tell us about the second one, the Graphene X product? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Yes, indeed, we have 2 further blockbusters, one a bit earlier and one a bit later stage than Aeonic. The first one is HeiQ Graphene X, probably also our most valuable piece of IP with 3 very strong pieces of patents. Graphene X is a highly porous graphene membrane. So it is the strongest material on Earth, graphene, with, if you want, nano holes inside, which makes it a membrane, so it can filter from left to right and right to left. The first of many applications that we are informing with these technologies are lithium metal batteries, the next generation batteries at double density than the current lithium ion batteries. Now, in pilot trials conducted by the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology last year, we have been able to validate this technology in battery prototypes by achieving double density, faster charging, faster discharging, and also a much longer lifetime of the battery. So very, very promising proofs of concepts for a revolution in the battery space. And here we have, after this proof of concept, also committed to a purchase and the design that was terminated and the purchase of a pilot commercialization plant, which will be ready in 2023, first half year. So we are 1 year after Aeonic, and we are engaging also for this technology platform in joint development agreements with partners with similar transaction than the one we did with Hugo Boss, which we brought into the shareholding of our subsidiary. The third one, as a blockbuster, is more advanced. It's HeiQ Symbio. Here we are talking about cleaning for hospitals. Hospitals have seen an excessive use over the COVID time of disinfectants, which has led to the development of multi-resistant bacteria, the superbugs, like an MRSA or a golden staph. Now, these disinfectants who have caused these resistances can be replaced with a bio-based technology, a probiotic technology, which is the base of HeiQ Symbio, a symbiotic, so a patented process of prebiotic and probiotics that act in a hospital cleaner. Very recently, a week ago, the leading university hospital in Europe, the Charité of Berlin, has published a confirmatory study on our probiotic cleaners compared to standard disinfectant technologies. And we have shown an amazing result of a reduction of 99.9% of the development of antimicrobial resistance in the healthcare environment. We have also reduced surface pathogens by more than 90% compared to the use of a disinfectant. And most importantly, we have reduced the costs that a hospital has to foot in terms of dealing with these nosocomial healthcare acquired infections by up to 75%. Very, very strong data for a rising problem in a study by the Prime Minister in the UK. We have terrible numbers that were coming out of this study. By 2050, 10 million dead people due to antimicrobial resistance in hospitals, which would lead to 100 trillion costs for the world. That's 2 to 3.5% of GDP. That would be called a recession normally. So the magnitude of the problem is well understood. And what we are offering is a safe, bio-based solution, which we are already selling right now to approximately 50 hospitals in Europe. And following this very, very important confirmatory study by the key opinion leading hospital in Europe, we are extremely confident that we can roll this out on a pan-European scale, and then later really break it to the world to bring a solution for healthcare and the people.
Thank you. Thank you, Carlo. Thank you, Xaver, for taking the time to speak with us today. And I look forward to catching up with you very soon and finding out about the progress you're making. Thank you.